been a significant change to the Gradient2ColorRamp add-on, so I wanted to do a little video to cover it. The first thing we need to do is make sure we have our object selected. We're going to set up a color ramp category, so I'm just going to go for colorful because I'm going to just make these like pastels and stuff. Then we're going to just create our Horcrux. You have to remember to just to re-click your object, and then it'll show your stuff. Your Horcrux is hidden here in gradients and curves. If you wanted to see it, you could do this number and you'll see that the plane that it's on, which will turn that back off. We are working with our paint object here. We now have the ability to do falloffs, but let me just go ahead and set up a color first. I'm going to add a color ramp. And first color, I'm going to set it up something warm. Last one, also a warm. And this one, I'm going to go a little bit cooler. Or on this side, we'll go ahead and go with a little bit of a blue. We'll see how it goes. But I want to preserve the gradient I've got here on this brush. I'm gonna try using one of my damage brushes to actually paint in on the surface, not just messing around. So I'm going to add another color ramp. I'm going to Control C over this and Control V to paste. And that gives me this one to save. So the new thing is that if we hit the unlock next to this one, which makes this active, we can then push this button here, color ramp to brush, and boom, it's already over there in the tool. One less step than what we normally would have to if we were working. So if I'm not looking at the paintbrush, I know that I can then unlock this, send it, and if I do look at it, there we are. Anyway, here I'm just gonna make sure I'm on the topmost. Okay, there. I'm gonna go with I'm gonna make sure which one's which. Yeah, I'm on the gold top. So here we're just gonna set, since we've got that set to gradient, I'm gonna just paint in. Different pressures will give me different parts of the gradient. See? And another thing in Draw to Paint add-on, not in this one, but in Draw to Paint, I also have the ability to flip the color ramp. Press K, and then we're gonna attack the color ramp from the opposite end. Okay. Now say I want to save the fall off from my brush. So right now we've got this fall off, but I want to try some other fall offs. We can't just undo it because it won't have anywhere to save. So I'm going to put a category called brush for my fall offs. Should be able to add fall off to the existing material. Unfortunately, I think I added it to the wrong one. It's a small price to pay, I guess. So I'll add a fall off, and I'll Control C over that curve and Control V there. That saves my fall off. But my current fall off, I can then try to change to a different curve. Get a slightly different behavior on the brush. Want to go back, then I can just Control C there, Control V, and back in on that. can also save our cavity mask. This one is already defaulted, so I'm going to Control C that one. I'm going to make another category. Add this fall off. That's it right there. I'm saving that. So then I'm gonna play games with changing this one. It's not as evident there, so I'm gonna go ahead and go with a different brush altogether and hit the wear. I'm gonna go with the stencil layer. And so we've got a slight fall off there for the edges. So it makes it not as strong, less harsh. Try something else. Need to add some color to that bottom, so I'm going to make a different gradient. This one I'm going to make more like a rusty kind of color. Okay, I'm going to take that one and go to my main fill tool and make this one active, send it, and then just to see which one we're working on, go back to the lower. You can see the effect of the cavity mask is there, right there on the edges. Okay, that gives me a little bit of a... So when I start painting this out, it should start looking pretty good. I'm going to go back to my stencil layer and try one of the other tools. Let me just go back to this one. Need to set that up to add bump. So let's just do that real fast. That's on there. We just need to bring this up a little bit. My images are very low res on this, so it's not like it's going to look great. Close that back down. There, you can start to see it now. And I'm going to go ahead and grab my scratches. Okay, anyway, when you get the point, it's no big deal. This isn't really a good painting session anyway. But the main thing is that we're able to make a gradient here on this material. Now, I'd like to show you how this all exists. So let's go ahead and bring up the other material. We'll go ahead and hide, put object mode, sorry. Go ahead and hide this one. Hide that too, I guess. Bring this up. So with that selected, we can now see what's in here. See, so we've got this default material, and inside this one called colorful are ramps. We look at the nodes, you'll see this one is number 4, this one's number 2, it's number 1. This was the accidental add-on. I should have added to a different material. Now we also have the other materials where we had cavity, which is just this one, cavity curve 1, and then we have the, let's see, colorful cavity. I guess that's all we made. Oh no, brush. Yeah, brush. So brush, cavity, and colorful were the 3 categories. They're actually just materials on this object that's kept from view, but we're able to determine that it's active from working with our object. Oops, turn off Suzanne. We're able to look at I guess there is a small bug in there. There's the fact that I opened up this one and moved it around. Need to make sure I go back to colorful as my first. Then here we should be able to see colorful again. Yeah, that's what it was. So basically just want to stay away from messing around with Horcrux. It exists as like just a safety bank. And that's how I manipulate it. It's not something I'm going to be using all the time. But if we want to get to where we only look at the okay, I have this colorful curve, this one, I can remove that and get that out. So that way we're only looking at fall-offs from, say, our brush or our cavity. And if you don't want to look at the fall-offs, you just want the colors, then just set colorful from the fall-off, and then it's only going to bring up your gradients. Okay, so this is just a quick update, and hopefully it's usable for somebody.